going over solving simultaneous equations where you have one that is quadratic. Now, before you start, you've got to be confident with looking at quadratics like this and either solving through factorizing. So just so you understand, that will be when you got, for example, x plus 1, x plus 5 for this one, because I've factorized it to solve it, and then saying x equals minus 1, x equals minus 5. You've got to be confident with that. Or even when it's like this and you're starting off by doing 2 times 2 to get 4, and then finding two factors to make 4 that add to make that, so you end up with 2x add 2x squared, add 4x, add 1x, add 2 equals 0, and then you factorize one side at a time, like this. So you have 2x, x plus 2, plus 1, x plus 2, and then you know that's then 2x add 1, and x add 2. But this is not what I'm intending to go over here for you. But you've got to be confident with that. Or alternatively, you need to be able to know the quadratic and use the quadratic formula. So we're looking at x equals minus b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So different things there to solve these. So you need to know that before really you can start moving on with solving these. Okay, so let's get into an example to solve these where you got one quadratic in the when you're solving the equations. Now I'm going to do two different methods depending how the equation looks. One for the first one and one for the second one. So here, what I've got here, I've got y equals x squared plus 5x minus 2, and then you've got y equals x plus 3. Now, one thing to remember when you solve these, they're going to be two solutions. So two values of x, two values for y, and that's because one's a quadratic, which is a curve, and if you plot it, a straight line will cross it 2 points. Okay? There will be situations with only one solution, but I'm not going to go into that just yet. Okay, so what you want to do, when it looks like this, y equals, to solve it, you want to make one equation, so one of these equal the other one, which is a nice simple start. So for that, it's going to be x squared plus 5x minus 2 equals x plus 3. That's honestly how you start. Then, once you've done this, you want to make the equation equal 0. So what that means is to get all of this to that side, so it's just 0 there. So we're going to minus x, so that becomes 4x, and minus 3, so that becomes minus 5. So we then got x squared, like I said, minus x, so it becomes plus 4x, and then minus 3 from each side, minus 5, and that equals 0. Then at this point, we need to solve for the unknown, solve it for that x. So for this one, I can actually do that through factorizing. So two factors that multiply to minus 5 and add to make 4 are plus 5 and minus 1. So x plus 5, x minus 1. And that means x plus 5 equals 0. So x can equal minus 5. And x minus 1 equals 0. So that means x can equal 1. So that's my two solutions for x. Once you've done that part, you've got to substitute in to find the other unknown. So if you find your y, easiest thing to do is substitute into the linear one, not the quadratic. So for this situation, x equals minus 5. Put minus 5 there, so minus 5 add 3. We get y equals minus 2. So that was nice. This one, x equals 1. Put it there. So 1 add 3, that means y equals 4. And you get two different solutions. Okay, so that's one method if the question looks like this. Now, second one, okay, using some substitution, is, well, when it looks like this, you might have an x squared plus y squared equals 34, or both equations might not equal y. So what we're going to do is, this is where we don't have both equations equaling y. I've got to start off with this, make one equation equal the unknown, preferably the linear equation. So make this one just equal y. Now, what you're going to do, you're going to substitute in the value for the unknown into the other equation. So that means I'm going to write this equation on top, so the x squared plus y squared, but instead of writing y squared, because I know y equals x plus 2, I'm going to write x squared plus x plus 2 squared instead of y equals 34. Now, when you've done this, you can then expand that bracket. So you've got x squared plus, I know this expanded, so this is x squared plus 4x plus 4 equals 34. Okay, because you want it expand if needed. That's step 3 there. Okay, here then you want to start getting it to equal 0 and solve for the unknown again. So I'm going to collect my terms, so that becomes 2x squared, 4x stays on its own, so it's plus 4x, and then I'm going to move that over here, so minus 34 from 4, because minus 30, and then this 2x squared plus 4x minus 30, I'm going to solve that for the unknown. Now with that, I'm going to go and do it through the quadratic formula, so I'll just write that out quickly. So I need to have x equals minus b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, and for this you need to signal what your a, b or c equals. So for this, a equals 2, b equals 4, c equals minus 30. So we're going to substitute those in to the to this here. So I'm going to have minus 4 plus minus, and it's going to be b squared, which is 4 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is minus 30, all over 2a. So that's 2 times 2. Tidy this up a little, so gives me minus 4 plus minus, so 16, minus 2 times, or minus 4 times 2 times minus 30. That actually is minus, that's 240, adds 16, 256. Okay, you can use a calculator. I'm just getting lucky numbers here. Over 4. So, maybe you probably could factorize this. I'll check in a second actually. So then that makes 2 solutions. So you go the positive, which is minus 4 plus 16, because that's square root of this, over 4, which equals, that's going to be 12 over 4, which is 3. So x could be 3. And then the other solution is where you do the minus 4 minus 16 all over 4 equals minus 5. So they're the 2 solutions for x. And then to find the solution for y, so it's a bit of a long process to get there for your x. Then the y, so originally we had here x plus 2, so we could put 3 into there. So 3 plus 2 is 5, so y is 5. So let me put that, let's just put his brackets. Okay, being lazy now. And the other one is minus 5. So x is there, so minus 5 add 2 is minus 3. So minus 3, so 2 solutions there. Okay, now I said I think this could be factorised, so let me just quickly check this to show you that it might be. You can manipulate that actually looking at it. Divide it all by 2, so it's x squared. Add 2x minus 15 equals 0. So minus 15, 2 factors, could be, yeah, x plus 5 and x minus 3. So it can be factorised into 2 brackets there if it's manipulated and solved. But anyway, what we were doing was looking at simultaneous equations with one quadratic. So just to recap this second one, substituted y in here instead. So it's x plus 2 all squared is 34 because we substituted it in. Expanded that bracket, tidied it up to make 0, and then you solve it for the x before substituting to find the y. Okay, and that is solving simultaneous equations where you have a quadratic.